Hello and welcome to this quick introduction to the new Ecdesign 5 beta version. This will be a very short video, and in a few days we will launch a more complete video and also complete training courses in the Ecdesign Academy. This video is simply to help you get started. And if you are currently using Ecdesign 4, you will be quite familiar with what I'm showing you today in terms of the interface and so on. So I've started up my beta version, and I'm going to go to File and select a new project, and I'm going to build my project now so I can save it, and I'm going to call this project 1. This is the default location where all your files will be located in a folder system, but I'm just going to leave that. This option I will come back later on. It's the option to import an existing floor plan and use as a template. Then in the next step we have the project settings, and you can select if you want to use feet or meter for your units, and I'm going to select meter. Then we have the default materials for wall, ceiling and floor. And this means each room that I create will have these default textures, but you can later on change in each individual room, have different wall colors, ceiling options and so on. This is just to help you get quickly started. And this is how we do it in Ecdesign 4 as well. So I'm going to simply select the floor material just to show you the material menu. And here we have the material menu listed. So for instance, if I would like to select a different type of wood floor as my default, then I select that and click select, and then I close. And then you can see I've selected that. And you can go in each material menu and also add your own textures or colors. It's all listed in the menu. So you have custom color, custom images. Basically, this is exactly the same way as it was in Ecdesign 4, but all the textures are brand new HD materials, so they look great. Now I'm going to click on Create, and it brings me into the 2D view. And you have the tab structure up in the top. That's where we have all the different features in Ecdesign. And since this is a beta version, some of the features are still hidden. They are not activated yet. But over the coming weeks, more and more features will be released, and you will get an update on that. So to start, it's very simple. I always say you work from the tab structure from your left and move to your right. The first tab is called Rooms. So you make sure you stand in that. So it's blue. Blue is the activation color in Ecdesign. Then I click on Draw Walls. That turns blue. And now I can start drawing. And I use a mouse with a scroll wheel, and I highly advise you to do so, because then you can move around much easier in your floor plan when you're building the layout. I'm going to left mouse click at the 0 point, the origo, and then I can let go and move my mouse, and I can use the scroll wheel to zoom in or out. And wherever I would like to stop, I left mouse click again, and then I have my first wall. Then I can move again. I can right press and hold down my right mouse button and move the layout. Left mouse click again, move, left mouse click again, move. And you'll see those red lines, and those are just to show you that you are parallel to another wall. And when I close this up with the final click, we'll see the floor texture there. So that means it's easy for me to know that I've actually created a room. And in Ecdesign 4 and the past versions, you would have to load a 3D view to see what we're doing, what we're building. But I can simply click Orbit, and that brings me into a top view of the layout. I can hold down my scroll wheel and rotate the layout. So I'm pressing down on the mouse wheel and moving my mouse at the same time. If I want, I can actually draw in this view as well. So I can go to Draw Walls, move my mouse to an end of a wall. So you attach to a node, left mouse click, move, red parallel line, left mouse click, move. So now I've created two rooms. If I want, I can go into 3D, but we're going to wait with that. I'm going to go back to 2D view. So I see from top. Here you see the measurements for the walls. If I click on a wall, that will bring up a wall property menu. This is also familiar for you if you've been using Ecdesign in the past. Here I have the thickness of the wall. So if I want, I can simply type in a different measurement here. So if I want it to be 4 decimeters in thickness, it instantly changes. I have the length of the wall. I have the current height of the wall. So if I wanted to change that wall height, I would simply type in a different measurement. And then we have flip measurements. I can flip and the measurement goes to the inside of the room. So you can decide on which side you want that. Then we have the different materials, also the same as in Ecdesign 4. If you want to change, for instance, a wall color on the inside of this room, that would be B. So then I would select the B material option. So let's say we want to add a brick wall. We'll select that and click select, and I can close. Now we're in top view, so I can't see what that wall on the inside looks, but now I can click on orbit, which makes it easier. In this view, I can also click on another wall, and you see here B material, click B, and I can select the brick wall again. If you want, there's also a quick option, so I can drag and drop that texture wherever I want it to be. So that's very quick. In this view, or in 2D, for the wall properties, I can click on a wall and I can change it. I can actually grab a hold of the bottom or the top. I can click on it and select hide, and it makes it invisible. We'll move into this room. In the next step, I'll actually wait with ceilings and go to gaps. Gaps are doors, windows, and openings. So I'm going to select windows, and you have 6 different options here, which looks a little bit limited, but you can edit the dimensions, and you can actually combine windows together. So I'll give you a couple samples here. I'm going to hold down my left mouse button and drag out the window. This is different from past versions of Ecdesign where you had to double click on a wall. Then I can click on it and I can drag it to the dimension I want. I can also type in the dimension in the object properties for the gap. So let's say I want it to be 5 meters wide, and it will instantly change, and we'll select the height to 3 meters. If I want to change the altitude, I simply type in 2 decimeters, for example. This I can do in 2D view as well. So that is that gap. If I want, I can duplicate a gap just like you can in Ecdesign 4. And we made a duplicate next to it, right there. You'll see it more obvious right in the orbit view. Now I'm going to bring you quickly into 3D view. And we're in the 3D view. You navigate in the exact same way as in Ecdesign 4, using your keys on your keyboard to move. So W, A, D, and S. And we will list those for you as well. But it's the same type of alignment. You have also all the same tools that you recognize from Ecdesign 4 in terms of different navigation options. Game mode, orbit view brings you into an orbit view. Airplane gives you a top view. And back to walk, where you walk using the keys of your keyboard. We'll go back to 2D view. Let's say I want to change the floor material in one room. I can do that. And you see I'm clicked inside one of the rooms and it becomes green. And then it gives me not the wall property menu that I showed you before, but a room property menu. And here I can select a room name for that room if I would like that. I see the square meter, 171. I have the ceiling height. So let's say I simply want to change the ceiling height for the entire room. Select 6 meters. I'll bring it to orbit view so you can see that. You see how it raised all the walls in that room. Click again inside the room. You have a few options here also if you want to show the floor. If I remove that, it will be transparent, and ceiling the same way. If I want to change the material, I click on the material menu, and let's say I want to add a rubber floor. Then I simply select, or if you want, you can drag out also and let go on top of that room. So you have two options there. If I go into orbit view, we see that once again. One thing I forgot to show you is if we click on this wall, you can also edit a texture. So this is side B, as you see right there. So if I click on custom placement, I can adjust the texture. And this is something you can do in Ecdesign 4 as well. This is helpful if you're using like a custom image placed on the wall and you want to readjust them. Let's add a color to that wall instead. So I'm going to go into the material menu and select the color. Just like that. A dark color. Now I'm going to go back to that room that I started on. Right here. Let's move over here. Go back to gaps, windows, and I'll show you a thing that was not possible in Ecdesign 4. Is we'll adjust it, we'll make a duplicate. I can then place my gap on top. I can also move it down right here. So you see I created my own type of window right there. But you can do it any way you want. You drag out one, drag out another one. You dimension it the way you want. You can move it over, and you have red lines helping you a little bit in the placement as well. So you can create any type shape windows here, which is cool. It's going to be a little bit of a funky floor plan, but this is more to show you the different tools that you have access to. Next step, if we go to 2D, is the objects, and here you'll find your manufacturers that you work with, your standard libraries, the same way as it is in Ecdesign 4. And I'm running an administrative version, so I have a little bit of limited number of manufacturers, but here, and I'm running a fitness version right now, I should say also. Here we have, just as in previous versions, a few standard libraries. Those are marked in blue. So this one is called fitness, this one is called standard. And if there is an update to a manufacturer or a library, standard library, you will simply see that by having those green icons. And you click on the green icon and it will start downloading that new library. Which is nice in the new version is that you can continue to work. You don't have to wait for the update. So you can continue doing your floor plan and have the update take place in the background. So for instance, let's start here by doing some simple floor planning. I'm going to go into a library. And now it's a tree structure, so it's very quick access. And let's say I want to add some treadmills. So I go into here, a library, and select treadmills. Then I simply hold down my left mouse button and drag out the treadmill. And you have a rotation circle. And you have the option to change the color if you would like that. And you have altitude and a copy option. So if I want to copy a treadmill to my right, 1 meter CC measurement, it will do so. So I can quickly add more. Just like that. If we take a step backwards in the menu, we can add an elliptical. We'll add a cross trainer. We'll drag it out. Just like that. Add 2. And if we want, we can see this from orbit. We can move the objects, of course. We can go to 3D and see what it looks like. Just like that. What I did here was you have the 3-star system, which shows the real-time 3D quality. So if you set it on 1, it will be very helpful if you have a little bit of a slower computer, maybe a computer with a not so fast graphic card. And you can go up 1 step, and then you can do full 3D. This is the real-time 3D quality. This is also the same way as it was in Ecdesign 4. We can see this from any angle, like that, very quickly. If I want, I can go to Orbit View, and I can continue my floor planning. So for instance, we'll go into Standard Library here, and we'll add some people and plants. So I'm just going to drag out some plants and place right there. Very simple, drag and drop, just as before. And we'll add some people, and we have a new library for that, standard 3D people. We'll go into fitness, and you'll see a big library of people that you can use. Very simple. And those you can of course zoom in, and you can place on a treadmill if you would like to do so, just like that. If we go into 3D, we'll see that as well. We'll make sure it's full 3D. And here's a couple things I will show you. Maybe you think it's a little bit too light, too bright in the scene. Then you can go to your render options here, and we can go and set a different sky dome. Sky dome is actually the view of the outside. So if I change that quickly, you'll see here how the color changes. This will be more apparent if you're doing, if you have windows with outside view or something like that. But we can also select, if we go in here, we'll select seaside and evening instead, and it becomes a little bit darker, or night, even darker. So you can create your ambient feel here. Very simple. There we go. Okay. Next step, we'll go back to 2D. We have, just as in Ecdesign 4, custom objects. Same as before, you have box, stairs, cylinder, poster, floor poster, mirror, and custom floor. So here you can create simple objects very quickly. So if you want to add a box, for example, as a pillar, you can do so. And you can click on it after you dragged it out and select, for instance, its dimensions. So 4 meter high. Maybe you want to add a texture on all sides, and I'll move that away. Add brick texture, perhaps, just like that. We'll see it from orbit view. You see how I move in between 2D and orbit quite a lot, which is quite helpful. Here I can also scale the texture if I want to do that, the way I would like it. If I want, I can move it. If I want to add edit in orbit view, I can do that as well. Quick and easy. If I want to add a poster, I can do so. Simply click, click, and I have a white poster here. I can go in and select material, maybe a custom image of something. And you click on this icon to go into your computer to select the material or texture that you want to use. These are the ones I've been using lately. Click select and close. If I want, I can change the width. So maybe I want that to be 5 meters wide and maybe 2.4 meters. Whoops. I'll make it 4 meters. And you can also change the altitude to 1 meter. So if we go in, you'll see we have that texture right there. And we have our people here very quickly. So before we go on, I'll show you how you create your images. And that you simply do by clicking the camera button, select single image. And now you have more options than in the past versions on the size, the dimensions of the image that you want to create. I'm going to click create a smaller one, so it goes a little bit quickly. Then you select a place where you want to save the image. We'll call this test image. And then it will render for a few seconds. and in my computer we then have a rendered image. In the new software we can render up to almost 20K, so 20,000 pixels. Very, very large images. Okay, we'll go back to 2D and I'll show you a new tab called Lights. Lights is a new feature that allows you to control each individual light, add colors and height of the lamps and so on. And you simply, and you will see here in Ecdesign that it adds lights by default in a certain measurement from each other. If you want, you can change this. I'll move to orbit so we can see that more clearly. If I try to move it right away, it will not. I will click on the unlock ceiling lights. That will allow me to move the lights one by one. If I want to make changes to all the lights, I can do that. But before I do that, I'll show you how you can control the strength of the light. I can go in and click on the colored option here, and we'll add a color to that ceiling light. And we'll go into 3D so you see that as well, how it turned a little bit more blue. If I click on all lights in a room, then I can control all the lights at the same time. Even change the color of the lights. So let's make all the lights red in this room. And we can change the strength just like that. If we go into 3D, we'll turn on maximum reflection. If we create a rendered image, we'll save over that image. It will look like that. So it's very quick and easy. If you want, you can add your own lights, and then you can control each individual of your own lights as well. So the blue ones are the default lights, and these are your own, and you can simply drag them and place them wherever you want. And you see that in real time how the light comes up on that brick wall, and you can control the light. So this is really helpful if you want to spice up your layouts a little bit. Now I will show you some more quick tips on how to make your floor plan a little bit more advanced. Here I have another floor plan, and I have two single walls in the middle here. And what I can do, as I showed you before, you can lower each individual wall. You can raise them up like that. You can also grab a hold on each side where you have a node, and you can make that wall sloping or tilted. Same way over here, just like that. Why would I want to lower the wall? Well, maybe if you're doing a floor plan and you want to create a classic rendering where you see, well, I'll show you so you understand what I mean right here, just like this. Kind of a classic view where you can view inside the floor plan. You can of course hide them as well if you click on the wall and select hide. But this is a quick way that you can do some nice setups. And now I'm going to show you another one. In this sample, we have a factory building. And what I will show you is a tip for how the ceilings work. If you have a simple layout like this, and for instance, we have this change the ceiling height to maybe 6 meters, you see how the walls will come up. And if we go to the ceilings tab, we have the ceiling right there. But if we change this building a little bit, maybe we'll move up the height of the walls on two sides like this. So it's the same height. And we click ceiling, you'll see that it remains at the default setting, but you can grab a hold of a node. You'll see, we'll zoom in so you can see it. And we can move up that section and move up this section. So that creates a sloping ceiling as well. And we'll see from the inside here as well. To finish off this quick video introduction, I'll take you through a layout that I just quickly did here, where I've changed the materials of the equipment to black and red. I've added 3D people to the floor plan. We have carpet texture and some standard plants. I've used the custom flooring to create the rubber floor section over here. I've also added a mirror using custom objects. Just as in Ecdesign 4, you have access to these custom objects in the custom object tab. These are non-reflective in real-time 3D view to save speed and quality. But still, in real time, you'll see reflections of equipment, which is nice. And here I've added 2 ceiling lights with red custom color to it. I've added some windows in different dimensions. And here I placed 2 windows together to create that look over there. And some different materials. From top view, you'll see what that looks like here as well. So it's very, very quick. Okay, we will, as mentioned, bring you more videos and more advanced training and more in-depth training and very shortly. But thank you for now. Have a great day.